what's amazing? This is actually my second cup of tea for the day, and it is nearly 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I think that's actually got to be a record for me, and that's only 2 cups of tea in one day so far. Hi guys, my name is Kirsty and welcome to Upside Down Books. Today I have the very exciting thing of doing my Alphabethon wrap up for you. If you are unfamiliar with what that read-a-thon is, then I will leave one of those cool information cards at the top there for you to click on so you can go read my announcement video where I'll give you a bit more of an in-depth explanation as to what the read-a-thon is. But in brief, it's a week-long read-a-thon based on the alphabet, and being round 4 meant that we were reading for the letter D. And I did a spectacular job this week. I'm pretty pleased with myself. Right now, it is the 30th of October, so it is the day after the week is finished. I've logged the entire thing so you can follow up on this playlist and go and watch day by day the progress of how I did. But like, I'm so impressed with the amount of reading that I got done. I powered through so many books. So let's start going through them. In total, I read 3 whole books and got halfway through 2 other books, or more than halfway in one case. I've been doing some very intricate maths to work out exactly how many pages of the audiobook I was reading. My TBR was initially these 4 books here. Doctor Who, nope, that's not it. Doctor Who, The Three Doctors, The Darkest Part of the Forest, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and Dragon Champion. I got around to all of these books. The only book I did not finish was Dragon Champion. Now, these were all fantastic. However, in addition to these 4 books, I also ended up picking up and reading The Deathly Hallows by, I was about to say by Harry Potter, but it's not by Harry Potter, it's by J.K. Rowling. The reason I picked this one up was because I was genuinely just listening to it on audiobook, because I've been reading them via audiobook for the last year, and I realised that The Deathly Hallows starts with a D, and therefore I can add it onto the pile. In total, my page count for the week was 1,352 pages. Whoa! I thought that was amazing. I've never read so much in my life. I don't think. That's probably a lie. But I was so impressed. 1,300 pages in 7 days. And to think I could have actually read more if I'd sat down from dawn until dusk reading, like, so let's go through these all individually. On Monday the 23rd of October, I picked up Doctor Who, The Three Doctors by Terrance Dicks. Now these are all ticking off challenges, although I can't remember what the challenges are. I just have to look up the challenges. This book here completed 3 of the 7 challenges for me. I completed the challenge of having a book whose title starts with D and whose author also starts with D, so Doctor Who, The Three Doctors and Terrance Dicks. So that was a tick for me. It also completed the challenge of reading a book under 200 pages. This was 162 pages, so I ticked that one off. It also ticked off the challenge to read a book with a main character whose name starts with D, and obviously in this one there was the Doctor. I ended up rating this one a 3 out of 5 stars, or maybe a 3.5, I can't remember. It was a really enjoyable Doctor Who book. I've never read Doctor Who books before that aren't of the reboot Doctors, so from Eccleston forwards. This was the first time I've delved further back than this, and this is the first 3 Doctors, so Hartnell, Troughton and Pertwee. So Hartnell, Troughton and Pertwee. And it was really good. It was really good. It was really enjoyable. This is actually based off a TV serial, and it has a really interesting like outtake snippety bit at the back from the author or from someone, I can't remember who, explaining the differences and all the other intricacies that went with the creation of this novelisation. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, I definitely recommend this book. It was a super quick read and I read it all on that first day. The second book that I then picked up was The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This was phenomenal and ended up being a 5-star read for me. I honestly wasn't anticipating that I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I thought I was going to enjoy it because there is a lot of hype around Holly Black's writings, but this book is so good. This book is like so far up my alley, it's basically my address. This one did not tick off any challenges for me, although I'm hesitant to put this under the read a horror book. It wasn't horror, but it was a little creepy at times. Like there were moments where I was thinking I shouldn't be reading this at night time. But I really do recommend this for anyone who is a fantasy fan. I'm feeling the vibes of Iron Fae, anything Fae. It has Fae in it, so if you like Fae, this is for you. I love Fae. The Fae are great. They're not too in your face for this one. I think it's really well done how sort of they are a bit in your face, I suppose. I don't know how to explain it. I guess there's not such a intense divide between Fae and realities in Julie Kagawa's books, let's put it that way. But this was, I love this book so much. I'm so excited to continue reading some of Holly Black's books now. I wasn't sure if I wanted to read other books like The Coldest Girl in Cold Town, is that hers? But having read this, yeah, I need more Holly Black in my life. This one was 324 pages long and it took me 2 days to finish, so over the Tuesday and the Wednesday I finished this one off. The next book I picked up, and the final book that I read the whole way through, was The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I am so thrilled that I have now finally read this book and I really enjoyed it. I ended up rating it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The ending was a little bit iffy for me, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I really think this is one that I will reserve my full judgment until I've read the entire series. The characters were amazing, they are so well rounded in all their aspects. It's set in Prague, the balance between the paranormal and reality was really cool. Karu, the main character, is absolutely fascinating. It's so worth reading. I definitely think I need to quickly dive into the next couple of books to kind of finish off my opinion of the series, because from what I've read from other people, it just gets bigger and it just gets better from the first book. This is definitely a good setup book for the world we're diving into. Now this one took me a while to read. I ended up being really busy, so from Thursday to Sunday was how long it took me to finish this book. However, on Sunday I had an epic reading day and started boosting up the page count. This one is 418 pages. I think it's 420 officially, but the story ends on 418. This ticked off the challenge to read a book with a page count of over 400 pages and was just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I actually ended up reading most of this book, like 50% of this book, on Sunday morning, so I'm kind of frustrated at myself that I couldn't read more of it on like Thursday when I first started it, because it's not a very long read. I just got so busy with doing things. So the next 2 books are the ones that I only got halfway through. First one being Dragon Champion. I am still where I left off. Reading last night, so I read just under 150 pages in the evening of Sunday, which I was pretty impressed with. This book is quite interesting. It's obviously about dragons. It's about dragons being sentient beings and is a high fantasy world that it's set in. The writing is a little strange, so I wouldn't recommend this to anyone who's new to fantasy or not keen on the epic fantasy settings, because it is a lot to take in, and I'm finding myself sort of wanting to skim read through some of the descriptions and just sort of internal wafflings of our main dragon. However, it is really cool, and I'm curious to see how the book is going to finish it off. Now this one ticked off the challenge to read a book with something starting with a D on the cover, and this one obviously had a dragon. I don't know whether it counts or not because I didn't finish the book, but I'm going to count it because whatever. The final book that I partially read was, of course, The Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. This one I got up to 70% of the way through, however I've since then read a little bit more. However, I also didn't start at the beginning of this one. I started at 23%, but it worked out that I read 305 pages of The Deathly Hallows, so I thought that was a pretty decent effort, seeing as this was a fill-in book. That was the amount of pages I managed to read just whilst I was going around doing anything where I couldn't physically sit and read, so I managed to add another 300 pages to my page count, which I was pretty pleased with. I don't need to say anything about this. This book was amazing. So those were all the books that I got up to in round 4 of the Alphabethon. I had an amazing time. I loved sprinting over on Twitter with all you guys. If you don't know, if you weren't participating, I am one of the co-hosts for this readathon, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to round 5. In fact, I'm probably going to start looking at all the books that start with E, because I'm not sure just how many of those I have. But it was such a fun time. I always love this readathon. It's just so much fun. I'm absolutely stoked and completely dumbfounded by how much reading I managed to get done this week. I thought I did a really good job, if I might say so myself. And I can't believe that I read nearly 1,400 pages in 7 days. I thought that was pretty impressive. But that is all that I have for you guys today, so I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!